You the man.
So before I begin, I want to ask a question and make sure that everyone, like just a show of hands, if you don't have a basic understanding of what Twitter is, just raise your hand. Okay, and for everyone that was too scared to raise their hands, Twitter is a pretty popular social media where you have a short amount of characters to post something.
How many?
140, but this is where the problem is coming in. This date right here, September 26th, Twitter announced something that shook me to my core,
Oh my God.
and nobody else seemed to care about. So I am here today to metaphorically shake all of you myself to get you fired up about this topic. Don't even read this, just kind of...
Then why'd you put it up there?
Just skim your eyes over it. It's a lot to read, isn't it? Especially for a tweet. That's a bulky paragraph. And to sum this up, Twitter announced that they are going from 140 characters to 280 characters.
They doubled
as the
it.
character limit. And
When?
they started spewing it out like to a small amount of users on the date that I just had up there, but it's just rolling out to everyone now. And
But when are they going to launch it?
it's launched, like it's just like going to individual people. Like
So it's in
just,
beta mode right
yeah,
now.
it's just like rolling out. Like people.
Is it rolling out or is it like rolling out?
It's similar to rolling out because it's not anything you can physically roll.
Nice save.
Yeah. It seems not as bad just on face value, but I'm here to explain why this is an absolutely horrible situation. This guy up here is Shakespeare.
Crazy
Shakespeare had a lot to do with challenging the use of the English language. And he created a lot of words just out of nowhere and made English language his own for his taking. And similar to that, that's what Twitter does with the small amount of characters. With 140 characters, it's hard to always convey the message that you want to have. It's hard to shove all of your thoughts into 140 characters. And because of the character limit, it makes people who are trying to express a large amount of emotions challenge their use of the English language and try to fit something into that brief slot so that way what they're trying to express gets across to everybody else. This is the tweet that was up prior, this extremely large tweet, just to show that it is possible to cram all of that 280 character tweet into 140 characters. It just takes a lot of critical thinking and challenging your use of the English language to fit something into that. And when you are expanding the amount that you are allowing people to write, it makes it easier and not as good of a challenge and kind of takes away from what a quality tweet of 140 characters represents when you are now expanding it to 280 characters. This is the amount on average of tweets that get sent per second. 6,000 tweets around the world get sent per second. And Mr. Gross has heard a lot of speeches in his day, and there's no way that he remembers all of them. But he remembers the good quality ones. And that is what Twitter helps create. I don't remember all of the tweets that I see per day, but I remember the very quality ones that made me feel something. I remember the memorable tweets. And
Example?
What?
Example?
One of my favorite tweets actually is one that just cuts off at the 140 character limit. It is about a science class, and it's the science teacher saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, phosphorus, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then the student says, why'd you say phosphorus? And the science teacher says, because it's the elemental P, and then it's going to say classroom like explodes, but it cuts off right there, and I just think that's really funny because of the kind of chemistry joke. I think it's a very stupid joke, but that tweet stuck with me because not only was it funny and somewhat amusing, but it uses the 140 character limit. It kind of plays off of that idea too. So that 140 character limit, it makes it more difficult to have a tweet that is more memorable, that makes someone feel something. But when you are able to create something in that small amount of time span that makes someone feel something and remember it for days and days and days, that shows a quality craft that you were able to have. People also got upset with Twitter because there was a lot of problems on Twitter. There's a lot of examples of neo-Nazis or white supremacists or people spreading hate on Twitter that doesn't get dealt with as easily. Like, people have a lot of problems with how Twitter responds to social issues and how well they respond to hate and hate speech and racism and things of that nature. And when they saw that Twitter, instead of focusing on those problems, decided to wheel out 280 characters instead, it almost looked like it was giving their gun more ammo to spread even more hate with 280 characters rather than 140. So with Twitter focusing on that issue rather than, with Twitter focusing on the issue of 280 characters rather than the issue of hate and bullying and harassment on Twitter, it kind of made people worry about Twitter's priorities and how they deal with issues and what all of the users on their social media platform want. So I hope that you took that small, very insignificant thing that you might have heard about, and now that I have widened your idea of what this issue contains, that you will stand with me in throwing a big fit about it and whining until you get what you want. Thank you.
We're taking a stand.
Yes,